We are live, everybody, on the Real Talk 100 Radio Power Hour. And this show is brought to you by JW's Place, Soul Food and Barbecue, located at 14900 I-45 South, Conroe, Texas, 77384. Some of the best soul food in all of Houston. I'm telling you that right now. Go and give them a try. But tonight, it's all about the men tonight. It's all about the men. And Mr. Douglas Hobson is in the building. Go and give Douglas Hobson a follow on Instagram at _untold secret. If you're watching the replay, hit hashtag replay in the comments. Let us know you've been here. Show us some love. Let's get on with it. This is the Real Talk 100 Radio Power Hour, where we uplift, empower, and encourage small businesses. Tonight is no different. We've got a small business in here. Matter of fact, we got 3 of them in here. Quite a few of them, if you include Kenneth Wayne. Kenneth Wayne sells insurance himself. Let's get on with it. This is the Real Talk 100 Radio Power Hour. What's going on, Kenneth Wayne?
What's going on with you?
Man, trying to make it, man. Trying to struggle and strive like the Jeffersons used to do, man.
Moving on up.
Moving on up, man.
Trying to start at the bottom floor, though, baby.
Got to start at the bottom floor, most definitely, man. Most definitely. I wish I could start at the top, but then I wouldn't appreciate it with a man.
Right.
I wouldn't appreciate it.
Started from the bottom, now we here.
Started from the bottom. Man, I need that theme music. Man, that needs to be
Man,
my
give me
theme.
my theme music.
Yeah.
If you start at the top, that means you're going to fall fast.
You're going to fall faster. That's right. That's right. Before we get off into this show, I want to give my co-host, Mr. Kenneth Wayne, I want to give him the floor right quick. Is there anything you want to share with us before we get started with the show tonight?
Lovely week. Enjoying everything. Mad at them Texans because they tired.
Man,
Tired and tired.
I've been tired of them since 2002.
But
Man.
hey, tired is better than a loss.
That's true.
I didn't even know that.
Don't
We
feel
tired?
In overtime.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
yeah. I didn't even know. Well, I'll be honest. I'm a Saints fan, so I didn't.
Oh my
watch it.
goodness.
But we won.
Look,
One
look,
point.
Look, y'all. Look. When she said we're a Saints fan, I was about to say, we know.
Trust me.
Give it a couple of weeks and we'll bring it back.
Nah. Oh, I'm die hard. I'm
They could be
paper
losing.
bag.
Hey,
She's still gonna
hey,
be cheering for 'em.
Look, she die hard for real.
For real.
I'm talking about it
For real.
all week, every week. When they talk noise, she get worse.
Listen.
Y'all think I'm gonna be quiet?
Mm-mm.
I'm still cute, and she'll put on the black and gold all week long.
All
This-
week long. I graduated Sunday and started to put it on under my cape and gown.
Awesome. This is Miss Mika Diamond. I'm sorry, I didn't let you finish, did I? You good? We were talking about the Texans, and we got on New Orleans, and I got off track.
So I apologize because I kind of put in there.
Right, and overshadowed the
Yeah,
Texans.
I apologize.
You could be a Cowboys fan.
Not no cowgirl. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Y'all do have
Y'all do have the colors
I
though.
know that. They showed
Somebody's a fan.
Well, y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't right.
Somewhere it's a fan.
somewhere.
Not sure where.
Y'all gonna get me shot up. Did you see the video with the Cowboys fan fighting?
Yeah, I saw that.
Y'all gonna get me beat up coming up out of these stairs down there on the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, that was pitiful, wasn't it? I can't. I'm a football fan, but I'm not like that. I don't. My team loses, they just lose.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna beat you up. But
Yeah,
anyway,
no, it's not that serious.
Not
Now,
that-
you don't go
Texas fan,
behind
we ain't never
bars
won.
behind it now.
no,
That's a little bit
I'm not
too
that fanatical.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Mika? You
Now,
you do
know,
be in
I
them
will
black
go to war
boots.
with a soldier, though.
You will.
I will.
This should have been whole establishments with nothing but Texas fans. Highland Saints.
I have been in establishments where I am
The only Saints fan. And she still was talking noise to them Texan
hold it
folks.
down.
Still talking noise.
I was scared for my sister. I said, sis, get out of there. They're gonna beat you up.
They gonna beat. They gonna
I
beat you
wish
up.
they would. I said,
On
Lord
the way
Jesus.
out the door after a win. Y'all were giving shots. Give me one of them.
Wow.
Mine.
Mm.
I ain't never seen that side of Mika. Chris, she be
No.
like that?
Yes.
She be turned like that?
She misbehaves behind them Saints.
Every time I
Who
see
that?
her, she all cute and trying to pose and things. She get out of that, huh?
Yeah,
Uh,
you know, I'm
Put
looking cute, but
that
I'm
gold
still
and black on, and then we'll see.
She turned into a whole different person.
I do. Praise the Lord.
Y'all know I ain't lying.
Fears, huh?
Y'all know I
Sasha-
ain't lying.
Sasha Fierce. I love talking about football. I love talking about small business. We can sit here and talk about football all day long. But we have to get on with it, y'all. This is the Real Talk 100 Radio Power Hour. Before we get to the star of the night, I want to give everybody in the room their shine. Let's start with Mika Diamond right here. Mika Diamond, tell our listening audience what you do and where you do it at and what you do it for.
Oh, wow. So I do a plethora of things. One, I am a radio show host, talk show host on GMT Radio. This is a media family in the building. We definitely rock and support one another. So I also have a consulting firm, Visible Evidence, where I help clients reach new levels of success through strategic planning, branding, and marketing. Of course, PR, and my one heart of all hearts is community service.
Community service.
Yes.
I like that one most of all, man. Community service. What do we do if we don't give back?
And
What do we
how
do?
do we change the narrative of the community if we don't serve and be servants? And
If
that's
you-
what we're supposed to do. That's why we are granted blessings to be able to bless somebody else.
That's
So,
right.
You have
Blessed
to.
to be a blessing.
You have to be the change you want to be, don't you?
Absolutely.
You got to be. You got to be. Chris,
Yes.
what do you do? What do you do it at, and what do you do it for?
My name is Chris Bryan. I'm the host of the City Highlight radio show and TV show on the GMT platform. I also freelance, do a lot of marketing and promotions for several clients in the city. My tagline is always and forever gonna be, I keep it litty in my city.
You keep it litty
I
in your
keep
city.
it litty in my city.
I like the way you put that. I like the way you put that litty in the city, like Mika, huh?
Yeah.
I like
So
it.
highlight. So highlight
It's a
that.
highlight. Highlight.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Those that is love right there, y'all. Love. We have GMT in the building. GMT is where we started our radio career, and we still got love for them.
Absolutely.
Still got.
Congratulations to you
We
guys.
love the
Thank you.
upgrade.
Yeah, we love it. One thing about what we absolutely love is it don't matter where you go, your foundation
Yes.
and love is always the same.
Yes.
So I love that we can still collaborate, collectively come together, be in the same room. You have a show, I have a show, but let's work together so we can do whatever is
Exactly.
necessary for those who need exposure. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Whatever we do it for the community.
yeah.
We do it for other small business owners.
Yes.
We do it for music artists all over the world. Hey, it's a family thing here. Shout out to GMT's owner, Mr. K Nice.
Woo.
Okay, nice.
Mr. K Nice, my mentor. Hey, we got them. They're in good hands here, man. We got them. They're not coming back either.
Well, what
I
had
had-
happened was
That just means y'all gotta come over there.
they'll be at our house next then. If that's what's going on.
I had to throw that out there. That's my boy. That's my boy. Love to have y'all here, Chris and Mika. Let's,
I'm
with
happy
no
to
more,
be here.
with no more further ado, let's get to the star of the night. I want to my voice, my tongue wants to call you William for some reason. This is Mr. Douglas Hobson. Mr. Douglas Hobson is in the building. Go and give him a follow on Instagram at _untold secret on Instagram. Run his numbers up because he's got a lot to say. I feel it in my gut. He's getting on the men tonight, I believe, and he's gonna tell it raw and uncut. Something that we all need to hear, especially me. I hold a lot in, sir. I hold a lot in because but because I took sociology classes, I took psychology classes, and I think I know just as much as a psychologist. So I psychoanalyze myself in private. Okay, so that's one of my outlets, and I know from a man's point that you have to have an outlet, but not taking anything from what you're saying because some men don't have outlets.
Right.
So the show is yours. Let's start with forgive you. What does that mean, sir?
I forgive you. I forgive you is the second stage of my brand. When I wrote the book, The Untold Secret, I wanted to write the book because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of not loving myself. Being a man that was molested by my mother and my uncle, being molested, being beat physically, being emotionally traumatized, physically traumatized. The secret is out, and I believe that this book, and I know that this book has helped men across the nation and internationally, be able to tell their story in a comfortable way that not only forgiveness is freedom. Let me put it like that. Forgiveness is freedom. And when you decide to forgive whomever hurt you, you become free.
Yes, sir.
You know, and not only forgiving those who hurt you, but forgiving yourself, because us as former victims, I don't say we're victims, we're victors, but being former victims, we sometimes blame ourselves for what happened to us. Knowing what my situation, molested from the age of 3 to the age of 16, I had my innocence was taken away. So as I got older, I always blamed myself. Well, what if my dad was in my life? Would this have happened to me if my father was there? What about if I was a better boy in school, or I listened to the teacher, or I did this and I did that? And a light bulb went off in my head and said, at the age of 3, you had no control over what happened.
That's right.
You know, so when we come to that realization as men that sometimes we don't have control, especially at that early age, when you don't have control over what happens, we live this whole facade. And I know I can speak for myself. I lived this whole facade of being somebody else because I didn't know who Douglas was.
Okay.
I had aliases, you know, and I would trick the women. My name is Eric. My name is Derek. My name is this, and my name is that, because I didn't know who Douglas was.
Right.
And that alter ego
You
protected me.
You hid Douglas.
I hid Douglas
Okay.
because first I wasn't happy with Douglas.
Got you.
Secondly, it's a lot. There's a thing that we call misplaced rage.
Yes, sir.
And misplaced rage is where we as adult men take it out on our spouses
Yes, sir.
because we're mad at the perpetrator, but the perpetrator's not there.
Yes,
So we take it out on the people that are there.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, I had a lot of misplaced rage. I took things out on my wife. I took things out on my kids, on my grandkids. And when I wrote the book, I instantly got delivered and set free because the things that were holding me hostage for 20-something years,
Yes, sir.
I finally released it.
Got you.
And I think men don't tell their story because there's a stigmatism behind being molested as a boy.
Yes, sir.
There's a huge, you're gonna be homosexual, you're gonna be this, you're gonna do this. And I think because of the stigmatism, men are scared. And I think also some of the people that we've trusted has used our past to re-victimize us.
Yes, sir.
Good.
And then we don't trust. And then when we don't trust, we shut down. Because guess what? If I tell you what I went through, when you get mad, that's the first thing you're going to throw in my face. Oh, that's why you was molested. That's why you don't like to do this.
Ain't that something?
And that's and hurting people hurt people. So if the girl is hurt or the woman is hurt, she's going to in turn hurt me. And that's what I used to do. I used to hurt women, and it was, I'm going to get you for you get me. Then I can place the blame. I can point the finger now because I don't want to face Douglas. I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to protect my heart because every woman that I got close to, the one woman that I thought I could trust. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to go a little deeper than that. We have to realize that a man's first love is his mother.
Yes, sir.
And when that first love hurts you, everybody else around you going to suffer because your first love, who's supposed to be your mother, hurt you.
So every other woman is in trouble.
They're in trouble.
In trouble.
Every
Every woman. Not every other woman, every woman. Let me help
They're
you.
not safe.
Let me help you. I womenized, and I'm getting real transparent. I womenized women because I was angry with my mother. I dated older women looking to fill the void of a mama.
Wow.
And I used to hold. Listen, I was 16 dating a 32-year-old woman
Have mercy.
Wow.
because I was looking for love and all the wrong. I was looking for that motherly love, the nurturing, and women are naturally nurturers.
Right.
Right.
So me trying to fill a void, I could go to this older woman and she gonna love me. She gonna take care of me because I'm her boy toy. And in my mind, I'm looking for that mama.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not every other woman. Every woman is in trouble after that first love get hurt.
Every woman is in trouble when your own mother hurts you. Do you mind if we talk about that for a
That's
minute?
fine.
your mother and who?
My uncle, her brother.
Did y'all all live together?
Yes.
And we don't have to go into detail. That your own mother, that is crazy. How that happens, and how prevalent it is for children to get molested like that by their own loved ones. And I'm hearing it more and more. The older I get, the more stories I hear, and I guess that's because people get more comfortable. They don't want to tell their stories as a 15-year-old, as a 20-year-old, because,
Right.
like you said, it stigmatizes
Right.
you.
Right.
So now you get to an age where it's like, okay, here it is. This is what happened. I'm old enough. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. This is what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm old enough to handle my own as a man. So that's how you got to this point,
Right.
and writing the book and coming out, so to speak, right?
Sure.
Okay. This is Mr. Douglas Hobson, everybody. Make sure you go and you give him a follow. Go and give him a like. Go and comment on his page. Purchase his book also. His book is called The Untold Secret. And is this book about what you just told me, your mother and your uncle?
My mother and my uncle molested me from the age of 3 to the age of 16. Now, there's a twist to this story that a lot of people don't know. I started preaching when I was 16, pastored my first church at the age of 17. Look at the timeline.
Okay.
Also being molested while preaching.
Wow.
Preaching hope to everybody else going home to hell.
Wow.
The
Wow.
only place I ever felt safe was while I was preaching God's word under the anointing of God.
Wow.
Because I could be my authentic self and not get hurt.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? So this book is for the natural person, and I'm going to challenge leaders to go get this book, because I believe there's a lot of church leaders that have dealt with molestation but have not dealt with it, and they become controlling because they don't know how to deal with their own demons. That was Douglas. I was pastoring churches being controlling, especially of the women, because I was hurt.
Wow.
And when we don't deal with it, when the church becomes silent of a problem, they become a part of the problem.
A part of the problem. The church knew about it.
Yes.
Wow.
Was your mother a part of the church?
No.
Your uncle?
My uncle was the choir master and homosexual.
Boy, that makes me mad, man. That makes me mad. He is trying to, okay, so your mother, I'm just, forgive me, I'm thinking out loud. Your mother knew what your uncle was doing. She took part in it. The whole church took part in it. And here you are. How old are you?
Now I'm 42.
42. May I skip ahead in this story?
Yeah.
If it's in the book, forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
How's you and your mother's relationship right now?
I don't have a relationship with her.
No relationship. The uncle? None. You cut them completely off?
I had to keep my mind sane. When the Bible says when you was a child, you thought as a child, you spoke as a child. But when you became a man, you put away childish things. And this to me was childish things that they did. And in order for me to be the man that I am today, sometimes you gotta give people termination notices. You gotta cut them off to keep your mind sane. Because what my mother did, she would sabotage, even when I tried to have a relationship with her, she would sabotage. And this is how I know that this was a spirit. She sabotaged every relationship I had to alienate me so she could have me all to herself.
Sabotage your relationships.
So she could have me all to herself. Then the beating came, and I just really found this out because I just found some of my biological family. I found out by pictures, and I wish I could put a picture on the screen. I found out that I looked like my biological father. And because my mother and my biological father never had a real relationship, my mother and father were together 20 years with no preconception of marriage. So the anger my mother had towards my father,
Living vicariously.
she took it out on me because I looked exactly like him. So when I got these pictures, I literally in the last 8 months, I just found my biological brother. I got 32 brothers and sisters.
32.
32. I literally got pictures of my biological father. And if you put us side by side, I'm his twin. I got a brother right now. He lives in New Jersey. I took a picture when I was 22. Never met him until a few months ago. And I put our pictures, we took the same pose, the same glasses, we got the same nose and everything. We look just like twins. But because my mother was mad with my father, and that goes on a lot when we deal with single parent homes.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about something. You said people. The statistics show 96% of people that abuse kids are family members, uncles, aunts, babysitters,
Yes, sir.
people that the children know because that perpetrator has easy access to that child. That child trusts them.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So when are we going to deal with this stigma? When are we going to deal with the fact that, hey, this happens? I want to clear the air for everybody that's listening. Most people, most children that are being molested in these last 4 years, a lot of people think it's African American children.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Statistics show 79% of children that have been molested have been Caucasian children that are growing up in single family homes.
Do I have permission to ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to ask this question. So prior to you writing the book, what was the thought or the moment in your head that says, I need to share this with the world?
When I began to be abusive to my deceased wife.
Oh, okay.
You knew there was a problem.
I knew there was a problem because I've always had dreams of doing things to my mother because I was angry with her. But my deceased wife looked like my mama.
Man.
And that's where that misplaced rage comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
You saw your mom.
I saw my mother and she said something to me that struck a nerve that I knew my mother would say to me. And I slapped her one time. I went to jail for it. That's the misdemeanor. I went to jail for it. And I made up my mind then, I gotta release this. Because I'm not a person of rage. I'm not a person to put my hands, especially on a female. But when that trigger word happened, instantly I didn't think about it. I ran back and I came back to myself. I said, what did I just do?
Right.
And I called my deceased wife my mama's name. And she said, I'm not her. And that's when I snapped back. I said, oh my God, I need help.
Yes.
I need help.
When was this, sir?
I'd rather not disclose that on live
okay.
television.
Okay. Okay.
Statutes of limitations.
Okay.
But I realized then I needed help. And that was the beginning of my journey to understanding who Douglas was. And it took a traumatic experience like that for me to wake up.
I think it's so important that first commend you for saying that you're not going to keep it to yourself, right? A lot of times, not just your internal battle, but a lot of men have internal battles that we don't, as women, don't know about. So, prime example, she may have known at the time, but didn't know that was a trigger word.
Right.
So she had the adverse effect of her not knowing.
Her ill knowledge.
You responded to that.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that happens with men and women in relationships a lot of times, because we know you as an adult, but don't know you as a child. Right. So we're just looking at, and I talk about it all the time, and Chris, you can attest to it, that we get in these relationships and we're wondering why men or some men aren't open with their discussions about what
their
they
feelings.
have internally battled with. And so we're trying, as women, we're trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many empowerment things that's happening with women, But it's a time where we create a safe space for men to be able to openly share
Yes.
some of those things.
Yes.
So you won't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm not jealous. I just have a little insecurity in that area because of,
Right.
so that we can give grace in those specific areas and help you work through them. So I commend you for saying, you know what, I was chosen to go through this so I can help the world in this particular situation.
And that's something I asked God a long time ago. I said, why would you allow me? Because I was angry with God for a long time,
Mhm.
where I didn't even want to go to church. I didn't want to talk about God. I didn't want to hear about God. If God loved me, why would he allow
Mhm.
this to happen to me? The one he said that he died on the cross for.
Yeah.
And God had to go back and he told me, he said, if I can sacrifice my only son, why can't you go through this? He said, I'm going to take your mess, turn it into a miracle, and bless the nation with it.
Mhm.
And I think that's hard for us as men to be broken
Yeah.
because we're always playing Superman.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
We're,
right.
we're
Always.
we're always having to play the Incredible Hulk. We're always having to be this person that has to be strong for everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, there's a quote that says, "Happy wife, happy life."
Right.
But my question is, where is happy husband,
Yeah.
happy life?
Wow.
That's right.
And what I've learned to understand is men don't ask women to love them.
No, we don't.
Men ask that women respect us.
Yes.
And when we know a woman respects us, that is our love language.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
Because if you respect me, you automatically love me.
Yeah.
That's right.
And this is the thing, and I hope there's some women that's on the live watching. You have to understand, when you love a man when he's broken,
Mm.
good Lord have mercy.
Mm.
If a man can trust you when he's broken,
He's invincible.
he's invincible. Because that's the whole story with David and Samson and Delilah. Delilah and Samson. Let me break this down. Samson and Delilah never slept together,
Yeah.
but
Never
Delilah understood how to talk to that man and find out what his secret was.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
And when women can understand, is you talk to the man
Woo-woo.
and understand who he is, then you can love that man. You can't love a man if you don't know who he is.
Right.
Right.
But when
It's
you
impossible.
take the time, just like our relationship with God, the only way you can love him is to be intimate with him.
Yes. Yes.
Not
Yes.
sexually intimate, but mental intimacy is into me you see. And if I could be mentally intimate with God, I could be mentally intimate with my mate.
Yes.
I didn't know who they are because I know what they like, what their triggers are.
That's right.
What makes her laugh. Just like my wife now. I took the time to get to know her. We weren't sexual, we were intimate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when we were intimate, I knew the inner parts of her, of what she went through. And this is the thing. I love my wife. Big shout out to Keisha Lipgloss Hobson on Facebook. I love her so much.
Hold on. Keisha lip gloss.
Yeah.
My lip gloss is popping.
Yeah.
It went over my head the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. So let me give you a quick backstory. When I met my wife, I was angry. I was just coming out of something that tried to destroy me. This woman loved me in spite of, not because of.
Mm.
And there were things that she would ask me, and I would get angry with her. She would ask me about my past. Well, what happened with this woman? What happened to that person?
Mm.
And I would say, this is none of your business. Why are you worried about what's going on, with me back now? Why are you worried? That ain't none of your business.
Bring
That
it.
ain't your
Come
business.
on.
And then she had to bring
You preaching.
Right. I'm looking for a collection plate.
Right. Later on, she says, because I need to know how to love you past that.
Wow.
And that's the thing, women, if you learn to love a man, it's past his past. if a woman could love a man past his past, things in your relationship will grow stronger. I'm sorry.
he
Because
didn't got lit up in here.
Yeah. Look, I'm on the microphone. You hear tap, tap, tap.
because you took the time to get to know that man. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So us being able to communicate and be open takes you being able to trust us in our transparency.
Absolutely.
You know, so
It goes a long way.
it goes a long way.
I get in trouble for what you're talking about all the time. In every relationship I've been in, I don't know. I wasn't really traumatized on this level as a kid. Nowhere near that. So I don't know why I hold so much in. I don't know why I do that. But every relationship I've in, I've heard these words. I want to get to know the side that nobody else has known.
Mhm. Not your representative.
Not
Right.
my representative.
But
Meaning not that you're not being authentic, but I want to know all sides of who you are.
Right.
But guess what?
Can
How
you deal with it?
can you thank you? Can you deal with it?
Right.
But then can I trust you with it?
Yeah,
That's the
it.
question right there.
Because women have a tendency.
Some
Go
women.
back
Some
in your
women,
face.
some women,
Go back in your
some
face.
women, some women have the tendency.
You saw that.
Oh, they got my baby right there. They got my baby
There
right
go
there.
lip gloss right there.
So listen. So listen. Some women, when we try to trust them with what we've been through, the first thing they do when they get upset
Hey, lip gloss.
is throw our manhood in our face.
Yes.
Right.
You know, I heard this, and I know we got a little man in the room. I heard this all the time. Well, you don't want to do such and such, so you must be gay.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something?
It wasn't that I
Hurts
was.
my soul when they talk to me like that. Go ahead.
It wasn't that I never went to that side of the fence. I struggled with certain parts of intimacy
Absolutely.
because of what happened to me.
Right.
A
Right.
lot of people understand.
And a lot of women don't. That's the first thing they think. Oh, he gay. He don't want to do this. He
So
don't
my
want to do
question
that.
to you in that,
Mhm.
being that you went through that,
Mhm.
were you going into relationships explaining, or were you holding it in?
No, I held. This is what I did. And I'm gonna speak about
The
Douglas.
shield.
I went in not explaining anything because I wanted to see if I could trust you.
Mm.
Right.
Like us.
Yeah.
So
not everything was disclosed.
everything was not disclosed because so let me lay it out like this. In no relationship does anybody, man or woman,
Disclose everything.
go into a relationship disclosing all of their business.
Right.
No, sir.
I gotta make
Because
sure I can trust you.
right, because and this is what I did. I did things on purpose
To see.
to see how far I can trust you.
I think we all do that.
Yeah.
Ken Wayne, we all do that.
Because
To this day.
right,
After
So I
25 years, I still do.
But I would like to ask y'all, as we having a men conversation,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask y'all as men, when will you say the safe space has been created for you to open up and be vulnerable to sharing who you are? Yes.
I'm gonna let him go there. I'm gonna go because
When y'all stop doing what he's already alluded to, stop throwing it in my face. And now I can trust you. I can let my guards down. But when every time we fight, I'm not saying all women do
Yeah,
this,
for sure.
but the women I've been with, I keep my guards up because every time we fight, you throwing something weak about me in my face. And that is not going to allow
Yeah.
me to drop my guards. That's
Right.
gonna make me
Make
keep
you
my
trigger
guards up.
Trigger point.
Because
Yeah.
you I'm gonna relate it to boxing.
Mhm.
You constantly throwing jabs at me.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You
I'm
constantly
steady.
I'm
weaving
steady
them up.
weaving. I'm
Right.
steady. I shouldn't have to weave the person who loves
Yeah,
me.
that's good.
That's the best explanation
Good Lord, have mercy.
I can. That's the best explanation
Yeah.
I can give.
Yeah.
Kenneth Wayne.
I mean, being from the country,
Mhm.
you know, being a minority, we all been through
Yeah.
Mhm.
some kind of trauma. We've all been through it. And him sitting here today is awakening some things, brought
Wow.
back some things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's just, we live this persona that,
Yeah.
and you know, it's in my house, we're going in my
That's
house,
it.
stays in my house.
That's
the
Oh my
rule.
God.
That's the
Man,
rule.
You just opened
If
up
you
something
go,
else.
if you
Black
go, if
families.
you go tell this and tell that,
That's it.
then you pay for it on the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you're misrepresenting the family
Yeah.
Yeah.
by putting
Telling
family
our business out there.
You know,
We
and even
look
more
like
so-
this, and you making us look
Right.
like
and even
this.
even so too, boys were raised to be hard. You're
Yeah.
not supposed to cry.
Yeah.
Stop
You're supposed
crying.
To suck it up and get up and keep it pushing. So as an adult, you grow in using
Yeah.
those same
But
things
people
that you're
don't
taught.
understand it eats at you in the dark.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
When
alone
you're
in the
alone,
room.
When
Yeah.
you're alone,
Yes.
it eats at you.
Can-
That's what you've been through. It eats at you.
It was times when, and I'm giving all of this because I want people to understand that this didn't happen overnight.
Right.
Where I am today took 20-something years. Okay, 20-something years of me going relationship after relationship after relationship after relationship, leaving one, going to the next, leaving one, going to the next, leaving one, going to the next. But when that cliche will go on, this is why my molestation took so long. Because when I went to the school, nobody believed me.
Wow.
When I told people, nobody believed. You know what it took for them to believe me? And when you get the book, I want you to get this book. It took from my teacher one morning. She said, "Douglas, go sit down." I said, "I can't. It hurt." She said, "Stop playing with me. Go have a seat at your desk." And I looked at her again. I said, "I can't. It hurts." She dragged me to the principal's office. We got to the principal's office. He said, "Douglas, why are you being defiant? Your teacher that asked you to sit down." I said, "Dude," I used some other choice words. "I can't. It hurt." He said, "Where?" I said, "My back and my bottom. I can't sit down." They lifted up my shirt, and my skin was ripped from the beating I took the night before because one dish was dirty in the sink. My bottom was hurting because after my mama did what she did, my uncle did what he did.
Have mercy.
We have to start believing kids. When kids say something is wrong, we can't say, "Oh, you just acting up. You don't want to listen to me." Something is going on in the home when the kid got to go to school and they act out with anger and frustration and being defiant. That is an early warning sign of something happening in the home.
Yes.
Okay.
And you, as teachers, you as other parents, you have a legal obligation by law to report if you think somebody being molested.
Yeah.
And because you don't want the backlash, because you are afraid of your character, you are afraid because you own this business, people going to look at you funny. What happens if that kid has come to you and you didn't answer to your legal obligation and you find out later on that kid was being molested at home?
It's all on you.
Yeah.
It's going to eat at your heart.
It's all on you.
And that's
right.
what was happening to me. They did not believe me because my mama, in the city we grew up in, if you went to her the wrong way, she was going to slice your face up.
Oh man.
Teachers, listen, my mother still has this reputation to this day. If you go back to my hometown, didn't nobody mess with my mama.
So
Because
she
they knew they was getting ready to get the business.
okay.
So I went to certain people, "Oh, you lying, you doing this, you just bad, you ADHD, your mom need to go get you some medicine."
I have to ask something.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to cut you off because this story is touching. But in most cases where people tell kids they're lying, they've cried wolf before. Had you ever cried wolf to give them reason to think you was lying?
I lied to get admitted to a psychiatric hospital to stay alive.
That's why they thought you were lying.
There's and I can release the hospital's name that's no longer there. Elizabeth General Medical Center in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I was admitted there 96 times as a psychiatric ward.
Trying to get away from.
Trying to get away. I used to cry suicide. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself. And being there, they knew me so well. Oh yeah, we just gonna go ahead and admit him. We already know what he get ready to do. But that was my safe haven
96
to
times.
stay alive. I wish I could go pull the records for you. But this was a safe haven for me because I knew at the hospital I was around people of my own kind.
Mm.
Listen to what I'm telling you. I was around kindred spirits so I could be myself. And when I would go to the hospital and tell them what was going on, they wouldn't believe me because I've been there so many times.
Yeah.
I had the top psychiatrist in the state of New Jersey. Listen to me real closely. 7 psychiatrists, the state of New Jersey, the 7 top psychologists, the 7 type psychiatric doctors interview me and diagnose me differently every time. Because they did not want to go back every time. My mother told the Division Youth and Family Services that nothing was ever happening. When the state took me away and they got me back to my mother, you know what my mother told me? She said, if you go back and tell them I'm beating you again, I'm going to kill you and hide your body and tell them you ran away from home. I would run away from home and get on the New Jersey Transit to a place called, it used to be called Fair Oaks Hospital.
Fair
Oaks Hospital. To the point where I used to sit on the step of the hospital and bang on the door. I used to run away to stay away from my mother. And I have family members right now that I met when I went back to Jersey. They said, we always wondered what happened. And my wife that's on the line, she can attest to this. They hadn't seen me since I was 7. They said to me when we went back, they said, we didn't know what happened to you. We didn't know where you were. The state took me away.
Family members said that.
Family members. State took me away. My mother told me, she said, if you tell them the abuse is happening, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to hide your body and I'm going to tell people that you ran away from home. At that point, and I would just be real honest, at that point, I had a friend that their dad was a judge in my city. And I told my friend, I said, ask your dad if I killed my mama, would I get away with it?
I'm glad you brought that up because that would have been me. I was a bad kid.
And guess what?
I was not gonna hurt my people, but you hurt me. I was one of them that's gonna strike back.
That's right.
And guess what? The judge, he said, you can get away with it because she's causing you post-traumatic stress disorder. I have a book that I have not released it. I planned it out. How I was going to do it, when I was going to do it, and everything.
And you never did it. Why?
God, nothing but good.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm glad he said that. My mother, not too long ago, had COVID and had pneumonia. She was on a respirator. I got a phone call from one cousin that we stayed real close connected. And I knew I was delivered and set free when I asked God, I said, God, don't kill her. Allow her to live to get her life right with you. I knew then that old Douglas was gone because the old Douglas would have told God to kill her because I don't want to deal with her. But I asked God, I said, God, save her. Don't let her die. I need her to get her life right with you. As bad as I want an apology, as bad as I want my mother to say, you know what, I messed up, I'm sorry, I didn't know what I was doing, anything, I'll never get that. And I'm finally at peace with that. Because as long as I'm at peace with myself and I forgive you, I got my freedom. And that's what I want people to know when they represent this shirt. they're forgiving everybody that ever hurt them. They're forgiving themselves. And they're walking away that forgiveness is freedom. I'm free. I don't have to worry about if I go to bed tonight, if I'm going to hell because I forgave my mother. I don't have to look over my back, and I'm trying not to cry. I can literally walk around on this earth now with no condemnation because I forgave my first love. I forgave my first love. And because I can forgive my first love, I now know how to love my wife.
Come on, Doug.
I can be a father.
Come on, Doug.
I can be I'm a grandfather. I'm a papa. But I can honestly say I can love my wife with no animosity. Because when I forgave, it gave me freedom. It gave me the right to know that I'm a man because, first of all, I follow God, but I'm also a man because I know how to forgive. And
Here's a question. Has trauma molded you into the man you are today?
Most definitely.
yes, Devon, it had to. Let me tell you why. I would be less of a man if I walked around traumatizing other people for the trauma that was caused to me. And did it happen overnight? No, it took 20-something years. But I thank God for the trauma. Because the Bible says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for God art with me. His rod and staff of comfort. Goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Whatever had happened, I needed to know when I died and they laid me in that casket, that my spirit was going to heaven. That's what that was my whole goal. I wanted to be able to say I was going home to be with God.
Yeah.
So most definitely.
Devin, I call him Smoker Joker, has a show here at Real Talk 100 Radio, and his show, they talk a lot about some of these same issues, mental health issues, self-medicating because of those mental health issues. It's called What Up Radio. It airs every Thursday night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we talk about it privately. We talk about it on his show when I'm running the station like I'm running it for this show here. And that's why he's got a lot to say tonight. This hits home with him. I don't want to divulge his trauma, but it's similar to what you went through, sir. I won't divulge that unless he gives me a thumbs up or something on here. I'll let y'all talk some other time, but it's similar. And I think that's why he asked that question. Has the trauma molded you? Because it definitely, in our private conversations, molded him. And he hides a lot of the pain that he went through behind his smile. That's what he was just talking about just now. He said right here, men have no mental safe space. Life has taught us to deal rather than to heal.
That's real true. That's real true.
I have a question for you, Douglas.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing everything that you know in hindsight,
So how can they get a shirt? We'll talk about that in a minute.
do you wish you would have broke through earlier? Do you think it would have made a difference in some of the things that you went through if you would have broke through earlier?
I'm gonna say it like this: no,
Okay.
I don't wish I broke through earlier. Sometimes storms are not always enemy driven.
That's good.
Some storms are God ordained. And people think I'm crazy when I say that.
They are. They was
But God allows the contrary winds in a storm to keep you safe in the middle of a storm.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a storm, the winds are contrary to each other.
Right.
But there's always peace
In the same.
in the eye of the storm. So I believe if I would have come out of the storm early,
Tell you.
it would have killed me for one.
Mhm.
But then I would not be able to be used as God is using me now.
All right.
Because a lot of us don't like to go through the storm because we don't want the pain.
Yeah.
But no pain, no power.
Skip the process.
No pain, no power. The Bible says that he will prepare a table before us in the presence of our enemies. So if and we have to realize that the table is not meant for us.
Yeah.
The Bible says that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when Nebuchadnezzar threw them in the fire, he called all the elders of the city to come and see that he had thrown Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire. But you got to realize something about the fire.
Yeah.
The Bible says that they were free in the fire.
In the fire.
That the things that had them bound burnt off in the fire.
That's right.
So what does that tell me? That tells me that I don't have to come out of the fire to be free.
Okay.
I can be free in the fire. And watch this. God used the very same people that set the trap to kill them to elevate them in their season. So I'm comfortable enough to say, you may have set this trap, but no weapon formed against me shall prosper. You set the trap to kill me, but God's gonna use you to elevate me. And watch it. He's using what happened to me
Amen.
to get before people that would never ever talk about this. And now it's liberating other men and other women that come up and say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to tell my story because I want to become free. So if I would have came out of the fire early, my oil wouldn't be so expensive.
Come on, Harriet Tubman.
Come on now.
Because
Let my people go.
your cognac
My oil
wouldn't age.
wouldn't be so expensive. But you have to realize the more you go through I'm sorry, I feel like preaching. The more you go through the press,
Listen.
the more you press, the more oily you get. And I want to be so greasy that when the witch and the enemy come in to grab me, they're going to slip off of me. Because I'm covered by the blood.
Yes.
Oh,
You're
God.
gonna make me
covered.
run up in here today.
I'm covered. And you know what? Though they slay me, yet shall I trust him. I maintain my ways, my integrity before the people of God.
Good. That's good.
And I can maintain my integrity. I can maintain who I am and be comfortable in who I am because I know I'm covered. And when people realize that what you go through is not for you,
That's it.
what I went through is to help a man who's on the urge of suicide
Right.
because he was molested and he can't tell nobody. What I went through is for a young man like that man sitting right there to know, you know what, I better tell what's going on because I don't want to end up like that young man.
Right.
So I want to be so oily. I want to be greasy. I want to look like I just got finished eating some fresh chicken out of the place.
I thought he was about to say French chicken. What you know about that French chicken?
Come on, H-Town Frenchies.
but this stuff is so real, man.
It is. I want to ask you this too, Doug. So now you're in this space. You're in this space of, and I know not only do you want men to come out, but you also are wanting to be an advocate for child, early childhood trauma. So what made you, because I know we want men to talk about it and release some things, but what would you speak to the young adults? What would you say to a young man or even a young woman that some of the things that you mentally battle with that you would use as a skill or as something that would help them be more open to speaking about it?
Trust your heart. If you know something ain't right and your gut tell you it ain't right, trust what you feel. Trust that inner you that's tapping you on your shoulder. Say, hey, that ain't right. Trust it.
Did you know that? Did you know that it wasn't right at that time? Or because it was your mom and your uncle, you felt like this was a way of life?
That was the way that they showed love to me.
Ah.
You understand what I'm saying? So abuse was my way of love.
It was normalcy.
It was normal to me. It was it was the new thing to do.
Wow.
So I talk about in my book how I struggled with some things. Sometimes I didn't know. I dressed like a little girl. I went and I kissed little boys because I'm thinking
It's right.
it's right. But not only that, because I'm being touched by a man. Am I a girl?
Right.
You're confused.
He confused.
I was confused. So now I go into this place where I guess it's right because the people that I love and trust
Right.
are doing it to me. But I did not want, when I became an adult, I did not want to be who they were. When I got to a certain age, I understood that it wasn't right. And because so many kids suffer in silence,
Mm.
you know, they have nicknamed me the voice in the wilderness for those who live in silence. So many kids live in silence because they're confused. Because it's mommy, it's okay.
Right.
Oh, it's
Right.
daddy, it's okay. Oh, it's uncle so and so. I don't believe any child should ever sit on a man's lap.
I do not believe in that.
And when we grew up, go
Yeah.
sit on his lap.
Yeah.
They're not.
And we didn't know what we felt. But if that person
Got excited.
got excited, something was wrong mentally with that person.
Right.
That you can get excited off a little kid sitting on your lap.
Right.
So, you know, I had uncles, and I didn't know what that other side of the fence was till I got a little older. I had other cousins that were flamboyant. And I just thought, oh, they drunk. We had the family reunion. They drunk. They okay. And come to find out later on,
They were victims.
they were victims. And I also found out that my mother was a victim of my grandfather.
Wow. So it's
So it's in the
generational.
family generation.
Generational curses.
Break every chain.
But see, me and I have a cousin that we went so similar to the same thing. We're the only two that ever spoke out about it.
So do you believe
How-
that this was a family discussion that was like that there was as we say in Louisiana, the shoeing behind the scenes?
I believe so, but you know, my grandmother recently passed away, and she was the matriarch of our family. And me and my cousin had a conversation. I said, after grandma passes,
It's on.
a lot of things gonna come to the forefront
Mm.
because my grandmother held everybody's secret. She held, to this day, if my grandmother was alive, the uncle that molested me that's still alive, she would tell you that him and his boyfriend is just roommates.
She gonna live that life.
And she believed that lie all the time until she went to her grave.
Wow.
She believed. Hold on. She believed the lie.
She
Or
believed her own lie because she didn't want to acknowledge
Admit
that her son was
gay.
homosexual.
Okay.
But that was the thing. Now my thing is, growing up in the church, how you
How you?
lead the choir, and
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
But
That's all we're about.
but that's. Let me,
Then they'll
I'm not gonna go into that. But
How much time we got?
but we have to understand something, that when I need to put this very tactfully. When we as was well, let me use the cliche. What's on the head fall to the body.
Yes, sir.
So if the head dealing with it ain't dealt with it.
It's gonna come right on down. Trickle
The,
down.
the Bible says that the oil flowed from Aaron's beard
Yeah.
down.
Mhm.
So if the head is dealing with it, what you think the body's gonna follow the head?
Mhm.
Sure is. Every time.
Everywhere it goes.
And when the head don't want to talk about it, that's when all this other stuff happens.
You
So-
said something earlier about how the teacher and how it was discovered or whatever, and that's where the abuse was kind of brought out. Were there any heroes? Did Douglas have heroes? Because I'm sure.
I don't want to talk about that because they ain't gonna buy the book.
Got that.
You
Go
giving
get
up
the
too
book.
much. Giving up too much game.
Yeah,
Go get the
yeah.
book.
So
I don't give away. We don't work for free.
I like that. I like that. Look, you on the home team.
Yeah, I'll take the part.
so on that note,
Mhm.
let's talk about the book. How they can purchase your merchandise, your T-shirts. How they can purchase the books. Where do they go to? You have a website? Do you-
Yeah, so you can purchase the book at www.theuntoldSecret.org. You can purchase the book there. You can also purchase shirts, but all of the shirts are not on the website yet because we just got brand new shirts in.
New merch.
We got new merch in. So listen, if you want a shirt, you can cash app me $25. The cash app is the $, the Untold Secret 21, and then you can message me in the comment on Cash App your address.
This is the untoldsecret.org.
Yeah. And we'll get the shirts out to you. I am in the city of Houston for the rest of the week. So if you want to come to our event on Thursday, or we don't have no more tickets left. Can't come to this.
They can't come.
Yeah, they can't come Thursday. But I'm in the city for the rest of the week. I got over 400 shirts with me. So if you want a shirt, you can reach out to Mika Diamond. And we can make sure that we get you a shirt. The only thing that I ask, and I will tell you, every proceed from my shirt goes to our nonprofit organization called Life After the Abuse. Life After the Abuse is our nonprofit organization where we help children and their parents receive free counseling. We do a lot of different things for our community. We just did our very first book bag giveaway. We served over 100 families on our very first book bag giveaway, so that was a big accomplishment for us. And we also set up a scholarship fund because statistics show that children that have been abused don't go to college. So I want to change that narrative.
Wow.
So if you want to donate to our nonprofit, we are 501c3 tax exempt. So all of your donations are tax deductible. So you can go to www.theuntoldSecret.org. Follow us on Instagram, _UntoldSecret. You can go to my author page on Facebook is Douglas E. Hobson. And matter of fact, what I want to do, you got a call in line?
Yes.
The 7th person that called in right now, I'll give them a shirt for free.
The 7th person.
Matter of fact, no, this is what they got to do. They got to go to Instagram. Oh, we got book bags too, y'all. So they got to go to my Instagram. They got to follow me on Instagram, and then they got to call in. If it's the 7th person who do that, I'm gonna get. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give them an I Forgive You shirt.
While you're speaking about I forgive you, let's rehash that right quick. What does that mean?
That means that I'm walking in freedom. I forgive you is saying that I'm forgiving myself. I'm forgiving the people that hurt me. And when you wear this shirt, you're telling yourself, you're telling other people that you've chosen freedom. So we do have another shirt coming out saying that forgiveness is freedom.
Instead of walking in bondage.
Walking in bondage. Yes, sir.
Got you. I love the way you use the I. That's why I said earlier, if you recall, at the beginning of the show, I said forgive you.
Right.
Because I didn't.
You didn't put it together. Yes, sir.
I didn't put it together.
Yes, sir.
I forgive you. Why do I forgive you? Because I would rather choose freedom than walking in bondage. And walking in bondage is walking in my lie. What you did to me. I lied. I said you didn't do it. Or I acted like you didn't do it. Everybody told me to shut up and whatever. And that's what I did. But now I forgive you and I'm free.
Yes, sir.
I have to ask another question.
Sure.
You don't speak to mom. You don't speak to uncle.
No.
What happens at family reunions? Do they not come? Do you not go?
I don't go.
Okay.
I haven't been to a family reunion in over 20 years.
So at some point, do you consider facing that?
No.
You know?
Nope.
Why?
Because I want to maintain my freedom.
Okay.
Can I explain it real quick?
Yes, sir.
I honestly feel that if I entangle myself with that spirit again, because it's a familiar spirit, it'll reattach itself to me.
Okay.
And I don't want that anger. I don't want that frustration. I don't want that
Cancer.
cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that anymore.
Okay.
Because I decided to give cancer chemotherapy.
And if you reintroduce itself to your body, it might attach
Exactly.
and grow. And
Exactly.
I got you.
And we have to realize, and we have to be okay with that. You know, some people say, well, God told you to forgive. He told me to forgive. He didn't tell me to forget.
Right. Not to protect
And he also didn't tell me to be stupid and go back to where he brought me out of either. I'm not going to be like the children of Israel, walking around 7 times and I already got my instructions. I'm not going to do all that. I'm free. I have a great marriage, have a great wife, have great kids. My kids have never been in trouble. I have great grandkids, and I have my sanity.
All intact.
All intact. Before I go back to all of that, I keep my sanity.
Okay. I'm one that I strongly believe in, and I'm not taking anything away from.
Can we answer that question on the bottom?
Yes.
I think I just answered it.
Just answer it.
Yeah. Would I ever forgive my mom? I forgave her. What's that Puerto Rican prince? I forgave her. Princess, I'm sorry. Princess. I forgave her. And we have to realize everybody forgives differently.
Mhm.
I forgave her because I asked God not to kill her. I asked God to let her get her life right. I forgave her, but I will not ever entangle myself with that mess again.
What was you saying, Malcolm?
I am, and I'm not taking your approach on this subject. I'm not taking it lightly. I believe all of us are different for a reason, but I'm so borderline cocky, arrogant that I would go in their face, and that's what would heal me. I'm a man now. I'm a man now. You can't do that to me now, and I guess I'm trying to rub off a little bit if I can, but I respect you. I respect your words. I understand totally that sometimes we risk ourselves, and
Mhm.
I would be at risk
Mhm.
in letting, I go back into their lives and I'm going to check you and you did me wrong. And guess what? I'm a man now. You can't do it no more. And it might fester and grow into something that I don't want it to
Can
be.
I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
But that was one of my questions. But my main question is, wasn't really a question, it's a statement. Hold on. I want you to look at me, and I want to see your face.
Yes, sir.
That got no sense.
Okay. Even with you doing that, I'm a man now. You can't do this to me. Why do you feel like you have to prove that to them? Or are you trying to prove it to yourself?
Because the way my mind thinks, I'm thinking they're over there, wherever in New Jersey, wherever they are, thinking whatever, I got away with it. He ain't gonna do nothing about it. And it's just my mentality. You ain't got away with nothing. I want you to know that you ain't got away with nothing.
Your life should show that. And I'm not knocking what you're saying, because I thought like that too. But guess what? The ultimate get back. Listen, can I explain? I know we gotta go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Bible says, "Vengeance is mine," saith the Lord, I shall repay. Right? A lot of times, vengeance is not God killing your enemies.
Make them watch and see.
Sometimes God's way of revenge is preserving them.
I need you to say that again right now.
Sometimes the Bible says that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, I shall repay. Sometimes God's vengeance is not killing your enemy. Sometimes God's vengeance is allowing God to preserve them to see you prosper, and then let him do what he do. A lot of times, see, we want God to kill our enemy, but the Bible says, with no enemy, no table. How can God prepare your table if you're asking God to kill your enemy?
That's good.
Sometimes God will preserve your enemy and make them suffer because what they thought was going to kill you, God used it to elevate you. I'm going to leave that alone.
I just had this conversation with somebody the other night. They said he will build your table in front of your enemies.
Yes,
or something
yes.
like that.
He said he will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. So God's revenge is allowing them to suffer while he elevates you.
Suffer while you
and
see
a
me
lot of
work.
times they are suffering.
Yes.
Because a lot of times they want whatever it was that they've done to you
Mm-hmm.
to kill or destroy you,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
to kill your spirit, your
Mhm.
insecurity. And a lot of times, and I deal with it. Listen, I'm going through it right now.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
Hallelujah.
Let me just peel back that layer real quick.
Right.
But and Chris is my accountability partner, because there's been times when I've wanted to speak on it, to certain individuals like you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like, oh, you think you got away with it, but you really didn't. So let me tell you what I know, and let me tell you where I am. But what
What's
I have
my advice,
realized,
Mika?
to not say nothing.
Don't give it oxygen.
don't give it.
Kill it.
And letting them see, because every elevation, every platform that I have grown through, I've dropped people.
Mm-hmm.
Accusation,
Dead
weight gonna fall off.
And then I'm hurt, disappointed, disgusted, and upset about it. But in the meantime, God is preparing me for my next level,
Mhm.
or He's ready for me to go there.
And
this
you can't
person
take some of that
won't.
dead weight. You
Yep.
can't take some of that dead
And
weight
what
with you.
happens is,
Yep.
I get there,
And it's like the
and then
aha.
I look back like, oh wow, now I understand
Mhm.
why they weren't ready for this
Mhm.
this point.
You gotta treat
But they were
shit
a
to
blessing,
leave.
right? But they were a
Every
blessing in
season.
the time frame, the season that God allowed them to be there. They were the blessing
Not
during
one.
that time frame. So I can't get mad if they can't go with me.
Keep growing and way things. You never grow.
Can I give you an analogy the Lord just gave me?
What he gave you?
That's just like when you build a house. You build your foundation, the concrete people leave. The electrician come in, he leave. The people that lay the sheetrock, they come in and they leave. What happens if the electricians are in the way of the people who come hang sheetrock? When people have come into your life and served their purpose and served their time,
Let him leave.
Let them go.
let them go. You run the risk of killing your destiny when you hold on to people that have served their time.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You run the risk of killing your destiny because you're trying to take expired people with you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Even milk got an expiration date.
Even the cruise only can have so many people on the boat.
Exactly. But watch this.
Before
That's
you
a good
sink it.
analogy.
Exactly. There you
But
go.
watch this. If you have this big boat over here, right? And God is trying to, I don't believe God's people move in levels, we move in dimensions if we're prophetic people. If you got this boat and you got 10 people here, and God trying to take you to the land of milk and honey over here, if you take the same people from here over here, you ain't going nowhere.
No, bro.
Because you got the same drama.
It's gonna
From
take
over
you
here.
longer to get
It's
You
gonna-
just
it's
went
gonna take you
further
longer to get
with the
there.
same crap.
With the same people who tried to destroy. Why would I take the people that tried to destroy me here and let them leech on to my milk and honey?
There's a popular meme on Facebook that
Mhm.
reminds me of what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
They have a boat, somebody's rowing it, and they got multiple people in the
Punching
boat.
hole.
Multiple people in the boat with you, punching holes in the boat, sinking your boat,
Mm-hmm.
and you steady trying to get all of us to shore.
But
Why
I'ma
would
tell-
they
I'ma
poke
tell
holes
you
in the
why.
boat?
But I'm gonna tell you why. Because we don't want to believe that person would poke
That's
the
right.
hole.
That's right.
Right.
Because
So
we
the
trusted
whole
that
time
person.
that the water is coming in
Yep.
there, we
You're
try
not
to figure
questioning the
out
only
it's something
person
else.
with you. It's
not
gotta
that
be
person.
something
No,
else.
it
It
can't
can't
be
be
that
you. It
It's how the
can't
boat
be
was
you.
built.
Can't be
It's-
that person.
It's how we rowing it.
Yep.
It's not
It's
who we got.
everything
Right.
but the
It's-
passenger.
it's
It's
that person.
everything but the person that's doing it. And
Because-
I'll be honest and be transparent. That is my living testimony.
Woo.
I'm putting everybody on the boat. And I don't want you, based on who we are supposed to be to each other,
Mhm.
there's no way I would close my eyes and think that you would be poking a hole.
And that's because
Until
And I invited you on this
Yeah.
boat.
Until discernment shows you
Exactly. Exactly.
The knife in their hand.
today.
Ooh.
Amen.
Say.
Exactly.
Praise the Lord.
Exactly.
I know we got to get out of here. We're gonna cut it short. My co-host wanted to get out of here. You still need to go, or you done got caught up too, huh?
He is sticking it, okay?
Before
I mean,
I know we got to go, but hold your breath just a second. I just went through. I can feel it in your heart
Yeah.
that you went through something similar. I did. Do you know that that same boat I was just talking about, we had a daiquiri shop, and do you know
Yeah.
that they were poking holes in our daiquiri shop
Wow.
to get us shut down? It all came out after
Oh yeah.
we shut down, and like Mika said, the whole time stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Stuff is missing. The health department is coming by for no reason and writing us tickets, and I'm going, ain't no way
Yeah.
they did this to me.
That's it.
Now
And they in the boat with you.
They in the
Snake
boat with
in
me.
your presence.
And now they with me. Go ahead, Kim Wayne.
You had a snake in your presence. Well, I mean, this was very enlightening
Yeah.
because, I'm not ashamed to say it. I've been going to therapy now, I think, for 3 months.
Uh-huh.
And like you said, it gets to the place. I used to be the person that go confront.
Yeah.
All the time.
I was that person.
Yeah.
I had a point to prove to myself
Mhm.
that
I'm gonna defend me.
that's right. But now I'm to a place in my life where it makes no difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Care what you think.
And my favorite thing is I tell my wife all the time, anybody write no checks over here.
There you go. There you
Until
go.
they start paying some bills over here, we can't
Exactly.
worry about what they. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Let them
Exactly.
look.
Yeah.
Let them look.
Yeah.
That's what I want them to do. I want them to look.
Yep.
And every chance I get, I'm gonna take it like a puppy and rub their face.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't even know. You just spoke a word and then
Yep.
you don't even know that.
It is. I
You
mean,
just spoke a word.
There's no sense in confronting stupidity. Because
That's the way it
stupid people gonna be stupid.
It's like arguing with a stop sign.
yeah.
Talking about go.
So my thing is, and I'm gonna say this to you, and I'm gonna say this to the people out there. Duct tape is silver,
Yeah.
Silver.
but silence is golden.
Mm.
Silence is gold.
God told me, and it's on the back of this book. He said, the story of Douglas Hobson will blow your mind. The life of a young man who survived molestation and child abuse and is now sitting in sets to set the captives free. What the enemy meant for bad, God gonna turn it for good.
Say it again.
What the enemy meant for bad, God's gonna turn it for good. That's where the Greek word sunadeo come from. Sunadeo is bringing two entities that's working, the two separate entities that's working on a common project. That's when the Bible says he'll take your good and your evil, bring it together, for all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord, who is called according to his purpose. And when we understand that we are called according, accusation and persecution come right before spiritual promotion.
Yeah. And I was gonna say to you, Malcolm, just keep going. He reveals for a reason.
Yep.
He reveals. For a
Amen,
reason.
Mika. He
And
revealed for a
As you
reason.
continue to grow, I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I
As
hope
you
she
continue to
listening.
grow, it's gonna continue. It's gonna continue to happen. You just have to keep going.
Yes, ma'am.
Malcolm, can you repeat what she just said?
Back to her.
Can you repeat what she just
Give
said?
her her
Because
advice.
she just gave herself a
Give
word. Don't
her
you know
her
it?
advice.
You know they say you give
Work
it
on
to yourself
people.
first.
You gotta do that.
Please.
Work once, equal.
Help my sis.
That's what the preachers in the ministry. You get it first.
Yes, yes.
Are you a Scorpio?
That's how you
by
can
chance?
teach it.
I'm an Aries.
I'm the
Aries?
Scorpio.
Okay.
She's the Aries.
Okay. You sound like we sound like twins.
Reaching that pull a fuse out. Can't nobody like it. If you pull your fuse out, can't nobody like it.
Listen, it's not worth it, because at the end of the day, as long as you know who you are and you comfortable in who you are, ain't a devil in hell can stop what God has anointed to live.
That's what everybody tells me, but I'm so
Yeah.
You
I know.
get it. I
Trust
know.
me.
It's okay.
Not even
I
that.
understand.
I had to, because I'm gonna be transparent. I'm gonna share.
Yeah.
Even when you aren't confident in who you are, they can't tell you who you are. So be confident in that
Right.
until you figure it out. Because some people are not there to where they even know. Because remember, you said you didn't know who Douglas was, and some people may be in the wilderness right now. Let's listen. You may be in, you may not know who you are, but they can't tell you who you are. While you figuring it out, don't let nobody else tell you
Right.
what you need to learn for yourself.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here was let me tell you, this was a blessing.
Yes.
You just don't even understand how much this show. We wasn't even supposed to be on here.
right. I
Mr.
told you.
Doug.
I told
But
you.
look what the Lord did.
I told you I wanted y'all to shine too.
Honey, let me tell you, it's
Mika found out some stuff about Douglas she didn't even know. She worked for me.
Actually, I work for myself,
But
but I'm his
oh my
PR.
God.
It's a contract.
It's contracted.
She was jumped out the
I know, right?
It's
My
contract.
folks singing, y'all. Help me.
I ain't gonna poke my hole. Then I'm gonna
Look, in other words, she could work for you too. It's,
No, seriously, no. Seriously. I mean,
that's a a gentle, loving nudge.
Oh,
Because I did it the other day. I was like,
Oh,
no, I don't work for them. They're my
I
client.
met Doug through Marva Brown Thomas. So definitely want to give a shout out to Marva.
Yes.
Douglas is my PR client, and what I believed from our very first initial conversation was the fact that I believed in what he wanted to do
Right.
for other people.
The service of
what he
it all.
wanted to introduce and wanted men to have more open dialogue and wanted more young adults to be open with sharing their own personal journey. So I'm rocking with him.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
Locked
rocking with
in.
him. So
Locked in.
we locked in,
Yep,
loaded.
we
We
locked
locked
in.
and loaded. So I'm just grateful for this because we've had a really good show. This is super, super good. And this is our first time here. We feel like
Right.
we'd have been here
I
before.
know.
And so
Thank you for having
we
me.
need to
Lorraine.
change the narrative and have
Yes.
more conversations
Yes.
like this as well.
I like, and since you said that, I love what y'all do with men's Wednesdays or
Women's Work Wednesdays and Men Talk Mondays.
Men Talk
Yes.
Mondays. With K Nice on there. I watch
Yeah.
it as much as I can. I like that. I'm
Yeah.
trying to bring something like that here, but there's been several times where I've said stuff on there, but
Yeah.
I'll be so busy I can't
No.
call and
even if you ever want to, because that was the start of Behind the Masculine Mask that we're
Right.
having on Thursday. So we're having a
Open the
live
space.
event with a love doctor. We have a gentleman that has he's over 40 who is a virgin. And he's talking about some of the same adverse effects that he have that women have where they want to hold it. He has it as a man.
and this
You
is
know,
on the station
This is in the event studio space.
in the event
And
studio
it's a
space.
private event.
Thursday at
Okay.
6:30. Yeah.
Talk about that. Let's end the show on
Okay.
that note, and then we're gonna hand the microphone back to him to sum it up.
Yes.
Shirts, books,
Merch.
and then the event. Let's talk about the
Okay.
event right quick and sum up
Okay.
the show.
Yeah, so really quick, open dialogue, panel discussion. We have, of course, Douglas E. Hobson, who's going to be there. We have a love doctor who's going to talk about relationships. We also have a gentleman who went to prison, who now does prison ministry. He has an organization titled Life Jacket. So he's talking to men about once they come out, it's okay.
Right.
And then we also have K Nice is actually going to talk and he's on the panel as well. So he's going to talk about business and being 20 years into marriage and some of the ups and downs that he has been through. Oh, love you too, lip gloss. So we are excited about that. And this is not going to stop. This is the beginning of us being able to have men create that safe space so they can have open dialogue. And as women, we can learn when we get y'all or if we got y'all.
Right.
So you can openly speak so we can give grace just like you give us grace. And we can grow and change the narrative of divorce, change the narrative of not
Domestic
having family,
abuse.
those type of things. And so, that's what the enemy wants us to be divided.
Mhm.
And so we want to let's stop what happened when we were younger and the traditions of keeping it in the house and you can't be sorry if you cry and men not supposed to do that and all of that. And so that's what we're doing. We're creating that narrative for change.
And that's what happens Thursday.
Absolutely. Thursday at 6:30 is at GMT Event Studio Space. We may get some more tickets open. It's 2626 South.
We gonna give out the address?
Yeah, we'll
It's
give out
closed?
the address. Well, we might as well. GMT 2626 South West. Make sure that you reach out to Chris, reach out to myself, so we can add you to the list.
Yes.
If you wanna attend.
Do y'all have a flyer that I can share?
Yeah, I have a flyer. I'll send it to you.
Tag me in it, and I'll make sure it gets
I
to
sure will.
the Real Talk 100 Radio audience on Instagram and Facebook.
Sure will.
Is that all you had to say about the event?
That's it.
Chris, before
Yes.
we hand the microphone to the gentleman, did you have anything to say about the show
Thank
or the
you
event?
so much, first and foremost, for allowing us to be on your platform. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. It feels like I'm at home. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Y'all already know how we work.
That's right.
Yeah.
This, we connected. We connected
Yes,
here.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
With that being said,
Look.
I see you. With that being said, guys, go get this book, get the merch, rep, support, because the more of us that look like us, talk like this, the more change is going to happen.
That's right. Be the change you want to be.
Be
in
the
society.
change you want to see.
Mr. Douglas Hobson,
I do want to say thank you
you're welcome.
for opening up the space for me to come on the show. This was good.
Mhm.
This was good. This helped me tonight. There's a lot of things I don't say because I try to, not reveal everything.
Hold stuff in like men do.
Yeah, But
Olivia.
tonight, I believe people were blessed tonight, and I think that is my whole purpose behind the movement of I Forgive You, is to change the narrative of how people see men, and for men to open up more. I know I keep saying what my wife say.
Love you, babe. Listen, Rob said, Keisha said, love you, babe. Thank you for being so brave to help others.
Oh, thank you,
So
love.
sweet.
And that's what it's about. It's not about Douglas. It's about helping other people come out of what they're in.
That's amazing.
You know, so definitely I would love for you to get the merch. Again, you guys can inbox us on Facebook at Douglas E. Hobson on Facebook, and we'll definitely get you some merch, tell you how to pay for it. You can reach out to Mika Diamond. She can get merch to you as well. Get the book at www.theuntoldSecret.org. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm going to follow you back. And that's it. H-Town, thank you for having me in your city. I'm glad to be back home. I was here for about 4 or 5 years. I moved to Nashville, where I met my lovely wife, and she told me I can't come back.
Keisha, we praying. We praying and we covering you in the name of Jesus.
Yes. Also, if I can, real quick, I want to give a shout out to 3 special people in my life, if I can. Well, 4 besides my wife. I'm going to give a shout out to my spiritual mom and dad, Pastor Unity, Apostle Unity, and Prophetess Pastor Shaheed of the Altar Worship Center. I want to give a shout out to Pastor Keon Henderson here at the Lighthouse. That's my grandfather in the ministry. Also, I want to give a shout out to all my kids for supporting me and loving me, and last but not least, my wife for believing in me and loving me when nobody else did. And to these 2 ladies up here, Mika Diamond and Chris,
Boop, boop, boop.
for definitely rocking with me and helping me change the narrative. Again, my name is Douglas E. Hobson. I am the voice of the wilderness for those who live in silence.
I love it. Amen.
The voice for those who live in silence. I love the way he ended the show tonight. This has been another edition of Real Talk 100 Radio Power Hour. And before we close, Ken Wayne, did you have anything to add tonight?
All I can say is the Power Hour was on fire tonight.
All right. It went over, huh?
It was on fire tonight. I mean, we created this platform, for this type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us, as Black people, we'd rather gather to the hoorah stuff.
Yeah. Quickly.
Than to get something instrumental, informative. You know what I'm saying? Very informative.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of us out there dealing with these same issues.
Same demons.
And you're afraid to talk them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this was a blessing tonight.
Yeah.
And I brought my son with me, and my wife wasn't feeling well. I was like, should I go tonight? Should I not? I said, come on, let's go. The Spirit led me
Well,
here
amen.
to get, and I mean, nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got to say what you got to say. You got to get it out.
Yeah.
Like you said, us as men, we hold in
Yeah.
a lot. We go through a lot.
Yeah.
It's a weight on our shoulder every morning we walk out the house.
Yeah.
It's a weight on our shoulder.
Yeah.
To produce and perform.
Absolutely.
Say it again.
To produce and perform.
And if I don't, I'm going to fail you.
That's right.
Yep.
So we got that weight on our shoulder.
Yeah.
And then we got the rest of the world hitting us in the gut.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when you come home, you weighted down.
Yeah. And I just believe, and I'm glad that you said that, because us as women, we need to understand that and not add to the weight on your shoulders already.
Some women need to do that, because I pride myself in saying I want to be your peace when you come home fighting the
And
world.
I just believe, I believe that, and I'm gonna just
We
say
need to
this,
be them
and
type
I
of
don't have
people.
to go. How we can help? Let me help you. Help me.
Mm-hmm.
Share with
Teach me.
with your internal battles, because I'm gonna walk with you,
Right.
and I'm gonna help me too, because I'll be understanding why you're responding a certain type of way. And so that's what we want to create. We want to create that. And before I leave, I have to give a shout out to Lisa. I have to give a shout out to Lisa, because I reached out to Lisa. She was quick on her feet. I told her that Doug was coming in town, and I just appreciate both of you She was quick. I reached out to her about 2 or 3 months ago. And she said, well, whenever he's coming, let me know. And I reached out to her and said he's coming. So definitely thank you so much. You know, we love you and I appreciate your
Yes,
fast
Mama
food.
Boss.
I can't get them on in, so.
Somehow they book me.
You can book Douglas by going to Booking Untold Secret.
No,
Reach out to Mika Diamond,
yeah. 'Cause,
and she'll
yeah.
get you there.
Yeah. Reach out to Mika Diamond. You could do D Hobson at the untoldSecret.org. And we will forward the information
Yeah.
to Mika Diamond to book me for your event. If you want me to come to your school, your church, the corporate event. I'm also a John Maxwell speaker, so I do a lot of things through John Maxwell as well. So if you want to book,
And he's just not speaking of this week. If you want him to come back for a future date,
yes, you can reach out to me.
You better not come back into Houston and you gonna come back here. You got a throne. You got a throne.
And we appreciate that.
And you would be speaking about traumatic events like you did tonight?
I specialize in early childhood trauma. I'm a retention specialist. I also deal with behavior analysis through John Maxwell. I teach on mental health. I teach on a lot of things. But early childhood trauma is one of my specialties in teaching of the early warning signs of trauma. So I actually have a curriculum that I've created to go into the schools, go into the churches, and teach about early warning signs of early childhood trauma and child abuse.
so that'll help prevent these
Yes.
misdiagnoses.
Yes, it will help misdiagnosis big time.
And they book you how? One more time?
They can reach out to Mika Diamond on Facebook, or they can go to D Hobson at the untoldSecret.org.
Or
Ooh.
go to the website and fill out a contact.
Yes.
form to send. So the website is the untoldSecret.org.
www.theuntoldSecret.org. That's the best way to do it.
That way we get all
Yep.
traffic on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You're correct.
Okay, so either reach out to Miss Mika Diamond. She's easy to find, y'all. Miss Mika Diamond on Instagram or Facebook. Spell it MEKA Diamond, just like a diamond ring. Or go to www.theuntoldSecret.org. You can pretty much get merchandise to book or book you.
That's your
correct?
go-to
Yep.
for all your D Hobson needs.
Yep.
Boom, it is
Y'all
posted.
make sure to stay connected with us this week. We're gonna be all over in the city of Houston. Doug, he may leave some shirts with me, so if you aren't able to reach out to us this week, even if you're not coming to the event, you can stop by, grab a shirt, grab some merch, and get his contact information so we can further have more detailed conversation after the event.
Awesome show, y'all. Loved having y'all in the studio. Me and Lisa have talked in length about, and we told y'all when we were at the studio that we're gonna have to flip flop, and come down there to y'all studio. We're just so wrapped up. We're trying to partner with a restaurant right now. I mean, become
Y'all
full
been
partners.
super busy.
Yeah, we're trying to come up,
Yeah,
and because we work too hard.
yeah.
Right.
Something has to catch fire, so we don't have to work so hard. So that's what we're working so hard for. But hey, y'all, I could talk to these lovely ladies and this young man all night long. Me and Kenneth Wayne can kick it all night long, but we got to get out of here. We have to get out of here. But y'all stay tuned to the Real Talk 100 Radio Power Hour every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Even though we routinely go past the time because we love this. We haven't scheduled it for 2 hours yet, but it's coming. It's coming soon. If you would like to create awareness about your product, your brand, your business, all you got to do is text POWER to 936-333-1969. That's text POWER to 936-333-1969, and you'll be sitting right here where Mr. Hobson is tonight. We at Real Talk 100 Radio pride ourselves in empowering, encouraging, and uplifting other small business owners. Today was no different. We do it because we love it. We'll see y'all next Tuesday night. Y'all keep it locked to Real Talk 100 Radio for the rest of the night. I believe we have Southern Soul tuned in for the rest of the night. tuned up for the rest of the night with DJ Doc Nasty. If you like Southern Soul, tune in to Real Talk 100 Radio by clicking the link in our bio. We're out here for the night. Good night, Mika. Good night, Mr. Hobson.
Hi.
Good night, Chris. Good night, my boy. Hit it for me one time. Do you want a what? Y'all know that commercial on, what is that, 97.9? You want a high? We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all. Good night.